What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the eBay Business Podcast. My name is Chris. I go by Daily Refinement on all social media. Thanks for joining me. Today, I'm going to go over my best reselling tips. This is very straightforward. I have a link in the chat that goes directly to the list. If you want to check it out, you can just check it out if you want to do that and save some time. It's a quick read. It's about 10 minutes, but I'm going to go over these tips one by one so you guys can get an idea if you're just listening in the car or going for a walk. And I think these tips can take you to the next level in your reselling career. And let's get into it. So the first one is I recommend you write down your profit goal for your eBay store. This is the first step with any goal. You write down how much money that you're trying to make. So let's just say, for example, it's $1,000 per week. I use this as an example because it's like the median income for the people in the United States. So $1K a week as your mean income. After that, I want you to actually 10x that goal and just see what that would look like. So 1,000 is pretty easy. It's like 100 items times $10 profit, or 50 items times $20 profit. A lot of resellers are in this bucket. Now, the reason why I say 10x it is so that you can try to get an idea of what that looks like, and hopefully you'll pick up one or two things you would do differently in your $1,000 per week goal. So it may sound kind of silly, but if you do that and you actually write it down, you're going to see a few things you want to do differently right off the bat. Okay. The next thing is figure out which activities you need to do in order to accomplish that. How much stuff do you need to buy? Do you have the appropriate space? Do you have the appropriate money? Do you know how to source items? Are you buying stuff from Alibaba overseas? Are you sourcing in the United States? Where are you getting your items? How long does it take you to list them, photograph them, get them ready for sale? You need to figure out what activities equal that. You are just a combination of all of your activities. So you can access all these tips at forum.dailyrefinement.com, and also the link is in the description below. It's free. I'm going to start doing all my discussion on that forum because I figure with all my subscribers, we should be able to come up with a really good guide on all the processes regarding reselling, which is researching items, which items to buy, how to list them, how to photograph them, how to ship them, how to do customer service, how to take advantage of all the promotions, paid ads, facial or social media, all that stuff that you want to put into your reselling business. We can talk about every single one of those topics, and this list is in there. The next thing is really determine what your realistic time allowance is for your reselling business. This is huge. Okay, so figure out how much time you need. All the processes that I just discussed take a certain amount of time, so you should be able to break down how long it will take to reach your reselling goal. Then put that into your calendar. It's very important because if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. This is super critical. There's really a couple things you need to do. Just write down what you want and then put it into your calendar and then just actually do it. And I think it's really hard to put things into your calendar and actually follow through, but I'm just working on that slowly over time. I want my calendar to be the most sacred thing that I have. And then that way I can really dedicate myself 100% to whatever that task is. Okay. Let's see. The next thing is I want you guys to master categories that help you get to $100 profit. As an example, let's say you wanted to sell men's suits. From my experience, you would need at least 500 suits in stock to sell 2 or 3 a day. It's pretty challenging. Most people do not get that far to the point where they regularly sell suits every day. You need a large inventory. You need to know what's current. It's not that easy, but I do know people who have done it. I know many examples. If you want to email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com, I will send you a couple stores that make a multiple 6-figure income just selling suits. So I hear people saying, oh, suits don't sell. That's because you only have 5 of them and they're super low sell-through category. You need literally 500 to sell 2 or 3 a day. That may be one part of your business. If you're trying to make 6 figures, you need to make $300 a day. So let's say you have 500 suits and you have 1,000 pairs of shoes and you sell 5 a day at $20 profit. That is your proverbial $100 a day in that category. Hopefully it doesn't take you all the way to getting to 1,000 because shoes is hotter than suits, but it depends on what you sell. You could sell Roomba vacuum cleaners. You could probably sell 5 an hour if you're priced at the right amount, make your $100, but then you need to find a supplier for for Roomba vacuums, or Dyson air purifiers, or things that are super, super hot. Those categories, you're going to be spending 90% of your time trying to find them at a good deal. They're going to sell almost instantaneously when you put them onto the website because of the demand. Again, do you want to spend your time sourcing, or do you want to spend your time listing? It's one or the other. Okay. The next thing is, let's see. Every time that you improve a process, you actually increase your hourly rate. This is something I want you guys to really, really understand. If you have 3 photo areas in your house, sometimes you do it outside, sometimes you do it in the kitchen, sometimes you do it in the living room, and you change that, and now you only do it in a dedicated space that you have in a separate room for eBay, and you just cut your time down from 20 photos in an hour, and now you do 30 photos an hour, you just increased your hourly wage by 1/3. That's awesome. That's a great way to double or triple the amount of money you're making, is just getting more work done in a smaller period of time. So remember, each time you improve something, you increase your hourly wage. eBay is very much like a freelance job, right? You're trading your time for money by getting goods that are priced at a lower amount and selling it for a higher amount. You really can't multiply your time or really become sort of financially independent or time independent without hiring some help. So make sure you get your processes down, build a standard operating procedure for every single thing in your business, and try to see if somebody you don't know can do it for you. One of the people I look up to, his name is Paul Akers. He'll routinely bring in like strangers into his multi-million-dollar company and have them operate things with just a checklist to see how simple it is. If someone who's never seen your listing process before can step into it and do it, then you have a good process. So you guys know I equate my eBay store to kind of like a Subway franchise. I want items to come in, they get put, processed a certain way, and they go to the customer. That's how I want to operate it: clean, crispy, and kind of a little bit sterile as far as the way the process goes. I want to just put my emphasis on creativity on what I'm buying, not necessarily how I sell it. If you look at my stores, almost every single item looks the same. I just try to create that process to be super consistent. Okay. Again, 3 of those categories equals $100,000 a year. So if you're asking, how do I make $100K a year and replace my income for my family? Get 3 niches that make $100 a day. Okay, now, next question is, what do I do if I don't know what those categories are? No problem. If you don't know what those categories are, start with just 8 random categories. I know this is, maybe some people would say do what you like. But again, I'm just saying look for 8 to 10 convenient things around your house. What are you buying, right? So whatever you buy, you may have a better idea of the pulse of that market. Try starting there. You may want to invest in software like Terapeak. I'm going to be discussing that a lot in my forum, which I just started yesterday, forum.dailyrefinement.com. We're going to discuss pricing strategies, sourcing strategies. But so we're going to go on to Terapeak and look, should we sell Banana Republic dress shirts? Probably not, because if you look at the market, there are 20,000 searches for Banana Republic shirts versus 20 million for Nintendo, right? It's like 1,000x more searches for that. So if you're going to pick a category to sell in, probably be a lot smarter to figure out Nintendo than Banana Republic shirts, because the demand is just so much higher, right? So you want to look at the different categories, but if you're just getting started, I don't mind people picking 8 convenient ones or 8 random ones. You're just going to narrow it down to pick one that you want to make $100 with after you get an idea of what you kind of like. If you enjoy that category, you're more likely to stay in it long enough to get good enough at it. If you don't know what it takes to make $100 in that category, you have basically a 0% chance of being successful on eBay. I know that's a little bit brutal, but if you can't even figure out how to make $100 with one kind of category, you will not be able to succeed, because you're just going to be too spread out. You're going to have no idea why items don't sell in your store, and you're probably going to be off even by a couple bucks and not be able to sell an item. If the market for a vintage tennis racket is $30 and you have it priced at 35 and there are 5 of them at 30, you probably won't sell yours, even if it's presented better photos. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Really understand your niche, how to get to $100 in one category. That's super key. So here's some categories that do super well and have really high ranking. Of course, this always changes. Your mileage may vary, but medical devices or equipment, be careful to make sure that you can sell it. Any collectible items, sell for generally really good margin, but the sell-through rate can be low. It depends on the demand of the category. You can use also worth point to determine sales that happened longer than 90 days ago. So if you sell collectibles, it might be worth it to invest in that technology to find out what category you want to sell in. You may want to sell mantle clocks. My buddy Holly was in town, went to a garage sale and an estate sale. She picked up a wall clock that sits on someone's mantle. It was like a $25 to $200 flip. That kind of stuff can happen once you start getting into a niche. I have no idea, but she did. That's why it's a good idea to source with people that you don't know. That's like a benefit. Another freebie for this video. You want to source with people who don't source the same thing as you, so you can start picking up new categories. Okay. More categories. Farm equipment. Men's and women's shoes is, in my opinion, one of the easier categories to build a full-time income, just because there are so many feet in the United States. There's like more than 600 million feet that need shoes, right? So that market's really hard to saturate. There are thousands of videos on YouTube teaching you how to sell shoes, and there's still a market for them. Unused software is great. Vintage items are great. Bicycles, cell phones. Cell phone category is fantastic. Jewelry, sports equipment, any kind of appliances or electronics. Shout out to Rally Roots. They do a lot of wholesale in that category. And then we have home goods. Home goods are awesome, right? You're selling goods that are in the home. I think home is the largest category on eBay. If that's not true, you can correct me in the comments below or in the forum. We can go over that. But you want to focus on dominating a market, not just like one item. If you really understand mid-century modern items, you're going to have a really good opportunity to pick up items within that niche, build a great mid-century modern niche in your store, and people will routinely buy from you. That's another great way to get onto get repeat sales, is just get into a system that get into a market and become known for providing quality products in a certain area. Okay. The next one is create a clear brand for your store. Now, I don't necessarily mean go to Vistaprint and make business cards or spend $300 on the logo. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, what does your store look like? Meaning your photos should always look the same, your descriptions, your titles. It should have a very clean format. That's going to make you look like a store, and it's going to make people pay more money. The more I treat myself like a store, the higher my profits become, and the more I can charge. So I just want you guys to know that buying from a brand, there's a reason why Amazon earns a lot more money than eBay per item. It's because it presents itself as a retail establishment versus just a random person. It looks like a retail store. So retail stores charge more than mom and pop places because they can, and because they give their presentation. You can't offer best offer on Amazon. You can't offer best offer when you go to Best Buy, but you can offer best offer when you go to a garage sale or a flea market. And eBay is kind of known as that type of a marketplace. So try to present yourself as professionally as you can. That way customers will step up and pay more for your items. Also, it is your responsibility to find out which platforms work best for you. Analyze your fees, your numbers. I was just watching a special by Kevin O'Leary, and they asked what gets items, what gets funded on Shark Tank, and he said it's pretty straightforward. He said in his niche, Kevin O'Leary said 100% of the people who get funding on Shark Tank can explain their idea in less than 90 seconds. Okay, so for your eBay store, you may say, I provide quality men's and women's vintage clothing at a discounted price with free shipping, free returns, and no hassle experience with every item or something. That would be your business model. And you can even go a little bit more in depth and still fall under the 90-second rule. eBay businesses are very straightforward, or reselling in general. So that was the main thing that he said. You need to be really clear. You need to understand your numbers. So numbers is back to my point of, you need to understand which platform. If the highest fees are probably Amazon, but they do the most work for you. The lowest fees are like Mercari or eBay, but you have to do more of the work. So you have to value your time, really understand your numbers. And I recommend you have a smaller store that runs cleaner than a larger store that runs kind of haphazardly. You want to have a, more of a sniper focus than just a big net. From my experience, people who have smaller stores with higher ASP do better generally than larger stores that are just random. So, I have tried both. So I kind of get an idea that you should stay small and nimble and focused. Okay. The next thing is create dedicated, uncluttered eBay areas. I'm sitting right now at my listing station. To the right of me is my photography station. My items for shipment right here to my left, and then I roll out my items out my garage door to the front area where my post office guy picks up. That's it. It's all in one row. There's not a lot of moving things around in different places. The flow is really clean. There's nothing on my desk. There is this table right here because I am moving some kitchen appliances out of my space, but that's the first thing in order. Things that are unlisted for me, I literally put them in the middle of the room. I want to get rid of them. I want to constantly see why am I not listing these items? I don't hide them in the closet. I put them right in the middle of my working area, so I want to get rid of them. Although some of you, including myself, you get into a habit of just stepping over unlisted stuff. Don't do that. Just put it in your way and get rid of it. Do one area at a time. And if your listing area has anything in it, you probably won't be listing very fast. You're going to be overwhelmed with the stuff that's in your area. So create dedicated, uncluttered eBay areas. You need clear space for headspace. I put that note in here. Okay. And if you guys want to chime in on this, it's forum.dailyrefinement.com, and the link is in the description below. I'm trying to get that forum really active. It's free. You can get in there and talk. And I want to basically communicate with my the people who follow me on that forum rather than YouTube comments or social media, since I believe those are a time suck. That's not in this reselling tip, but I was spending 2 hours a day on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these things. So now, God, I'm not doing social media at all right now, and I feel like I have an extra day in the week. It's like it might actually be an extra day. Okay, the next thing is I recommend 6 or more photographs. This is an area where you can do better than your competition. I wouldn't say I have the best photos in the world, but I'm going for a mix of speed and also consistency. I like clear, accurate, bright photos. I can spend a little more time, make the photos a little bit better, which I think I will in the future, because I feel like killer photos are awesome. But then again, there's the balance and the debate over should you have really clear photos, and people like Teresa Cox would say, describe an item like there's no photos and photograph an item like there's no description. You can make an item look too good. Okay, so if you guys look at my store, a lot of times the first photo is a little bit edited to make it pop, and the rest of the photos are done in more natural lighting. I really don't want the customer to have any surprises. So I recommend 6 or more photos. If you're following the big guys, they've streamlined it to 1 or 2 photos just to save time. They would rather list 100 items an hour in a mediocre manner than 5 items an hour really well. But if you're small, you have the opportunity to do a much higher quality photo experience beyond just taking clear photos, multiple angles. The size tag or the manufacturer tag also helps people get a better idea of your item. Okay. I pre-weigh my items. I don't have any surprises on the shipping end, so I recommend you guys do that, especially when you get started. You don't want to accidentally price something too low because you didn't factor in the right shipping. So if you want to go to USPS.com, you can, I think, I'll put a description link below to the free USPS shipping supply. You can just type in free USPS shipping supplies, order one. I recommend ordering 1 of every single box. If you end up not using them, please don't throw them away. Go to the post office and drop them off, and they can use it for other people. I don't see any harm in that, because you should at least sell like 500 items to get an idea to see if you like reselling or not. Don't just sell 2 things. You can't get the hang of anything if you just do it twice. Like, get into it a little bit and see if you like it. Okay. So 6 or more consistent photos. Don't lie about your product. Describe the condition as accurately as you can. Okay, here's something I think a lot of people don't talk about, which is I think you should plan breaks. Right? You need something to look forward to. If you are a reseller, you might be working 7 days a week and never taking any time off. You should like this video if you agree with that. I know a lot of resellers that don't take any time off ever. They work 365 days a year, and they basically are in this drifting mode of not working very hard, not being very lazy either. They're just right in the middle, floating through life. That's not the right way to do it, in my opinion. I think sprints are more effective. Take breaks every week, take breaks every month, go on a couple of trips a year. That way you can look forward to something. This is huge. My girlfriend and I are pretty religious about taking 2 nights a week with no phones, right? That's been very, very good mentally for me. Also, we have one full day without technology at all. So we get to really get to know each other, explore new places. And I look forward to these things and I get my work done before I go. I think that's important for you guys to understand. You can get your work done in a much shorter amount of time, especially if you have something to look forward to. If you never have anything to look forward to, there's no point in working faster. That's how I see it. So, okay. That being said, I think you should schedule even shorter periods of time for work, like 20, 60, or 90-minute intervals. These are called work sprints. You can do the Pomodoro method, set a timer for 20 minutes. And when it dings, take a break. You can do 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. If you work for yourself at home, you can do whatever schedule you want. You could work from 9 p.m. to noon and sleep during the day like a vampire. You have that option if you work for yourself, right? eBay runs 24/7. So that being said, I like to work in sprints. Put your phone on airplane mode and just go for it. Get something done. You can schedule, for example, if you really like coffee, you can reward yourself by saying, before I get my coffee, which I'm going to do every day for sure, I'm going to get 10 items that I want to list that day ready first, then have a cup of coffee to reward myself. Then I'm going to spend 20 minutes straight before checking my phone in the morning and list as much as I can. And then you'll probably end up doing a lot more than 20 minutes. And I think that as self-employed people, sometimes you actually work a lot longer, like longer periods of time than you should. That's why I think you should actually shrink it. 20, 60, and 90-minute intervals are great sprints. Okay. This is not something that I do, but you can watch the same movie over and over again. You can listen to the same song over and over again. I'm trying out like binaural beats or white noise or a fan in the background. That works best for me. The best investment I've made under $100 per Tim Ferriss's interview is a fan, because the fans for some reason relax me when I'm working. It just does better. It helps me sleep better. Try to figure out what works for you. Try not to listen to content when you're trying to work, because it's very distracting. You're never really listening to the content and you're never really working. Okay, the next thing is foster a growth mindset. This is important. If you think that you know everything, you probably are not very experienced. The more experienced people that I meet are always the first to say that they have a lot to learn. Right? Try not to stay around people around you that think that they already know everything. Try to stay around people who are always learning, always adjusting, growing, being a better person. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. You want to be in that type of relationship, right? You should pay people. This sounds crazy, but you should pay people to help you. I don't believe very much in the free model, and this is the reason why. When companies do things for free, they end up being creative in the ways that they make money. And that's like a new thing. Okay. I prefer like a transactional relationship when it comes to buying things. When I go to the store, I want to pay $10 for a flat of berries, right? I don't want the berries to be free, but I have to provide my consumer information and they're going to farm it out to other companies or something so that I can get the berries for free. Nothing is free, right? When you're on social media, it's not free. You are giving them your information and your preferences so that they can sell stuff to you, right? That's not my favorite model. So if you are asking your friend or your family member to help you and you're not paying them, they're just going to half-ass help you. I don't agree with that. If you just say like, hey, you can even hire somebody on Craigslist to come take a look at your process and say, I'll give you $20 for your time. Come look at my eBay process and see what you think. Ask a family member to do it. Buy them lunch. Try to compensate people so they really care when they're trying to help you. It just really helps a lot. That's why I don't recommend free reviews or free anything. I don't recommend free anything. You should pay people for what they're worth, in my opinion. Okay, next thing is when you are reviewing your store, to make sure that it works well, I recommend you go over the titles, descriptions, photos, shipping policies, return policies, promotions, and your product mix. This is in at forum.dailyrefinement.com if you want to go and check it out. I listed all these things I look for when I do the store reviews. Store reviews help me is just as much as I'm helping the other person, because I'm actually in there revising. This is something that the platform Poshmark has been pretty innovative about, because while you're sharing your items in your closet, you can actually go in there and adjust them a little bit, change the pricing, all the things I just talked about, and that's going to make your listings better. I am trying right now to create a routine to systematically improve my eBay listings. I currently don't have one. I just do it when I feel like it, and that's a horrible process. I should probably be revising and updating my listings a minimum of 2 or 3 times a week to make sure that they're fresh. Okay, the next thing is I recommend getting an accountability partner and an accountability group. This is huge. Just find a friend that does the same thing as you and just tell them, hey, I plan on listing 20 items a day. I plan on spending 4 hours today shopping. Find someone who cares about you and you care about them, and try to keep each other on the same track. An accountability partner is huge. You can also find an accountability group. I have one. You don't have to join it, but if you want to try it, you can just email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com. I'll do a quick interview, and then you can try some of the calls for free and see if you like it. They're video calls. I have them every single day. So from 6 a.m. till 8 a.m. in the morning, you can meet with the group. You can try it and see if you like it. We talk about improving these processes and also keep each other accountable. What we're working on, we're moving into a new warehouse space, or we're hiring a new person. We get a second, third, fifth, 10th opinion on something. That's something that can help you stay on track as you grow. Okay, next thing, this is already 21 tips. Resting is doing. I think that for me, one of the things I really want to work on is sleep. Have been sleeping at least 6 hours a day, and it's really helping me a lot stay on track. I might as well sleep an extra hour or two if I'm too groggy, because the work I'm producing is just not very good. I'm making mistakes in listings. I may ship something to the wrong person. That can all be prevented if I'm just a little bit more well rested. So I recommend you block out an evening routine where you start to unwind so you can go to bed on time. It's very easy as an online entrepreneur to get sucked into your phone and never go to sleep. Okay. Number 22, you want to create an unfair sourcing advantage. This is amazing. If you have an unfair sourcing advantage, hit the like button, because it makes your life so much easier. If your best friend is the only distributor of Jelly Belly in the country, and you can list Jelly Belly, you're ungated on it in Amazon, and you can buy it for wholesale, but not have to pay the shipping cost because you live 100 yards from the distribution center. That's a huge advantage. Okay, like, it's a hot product. You have a distribution channel locked up. Your friend's going to want to do business with you. That is insanely advantageous. Okay, when you're in that situation, you're going to be making you're going to have an advantage over other people who are trying to sell the same product. That is huge. I preach in my group that you want to get 8 to 10 people who have that same. You want 8 or 10 people that you can buy from in case one of them dries up. Suppliers are constantly going in and out, and I've never heard of anybody really successfully selling their eBay business without having to be in it, or Amazon business. But all the time I hear about people selling their supplier list. Okay, if you know people who supply great products, you can sell that. Buy lists are very, very good. I would say once you figure out all the stuff I'm talking about in this video, you don't need any of this stuff. All you need is the stuff to sell. Once you know how to buy at the right price, market it, list it, sell it. Once you know how to do all of that, the only thing that matters is the supply. So for you, those of you who are more advanced, this unfair sourcing advantage is really the main key. Most successful e-commerce sellers, this is what I mean. What I mean by successful is like people who have employees. I really believe what Kevin O'Leary says, that one of the most noble things you can do is create a job. Okay, like, we're in a society right now where if you provide a really high-paying job, my eBay worker makes more than $20 an hour. That's a great job here. So for him, he is super happy. My VAs, I pay more than the average rate by considerable amount, and that makes a big difference. When the average eBay worker only makes $11 an hour and I can pay my guy $20, that means he's efficient enough that it makes it worth my time. He's also making a good wage. He can take more time off. Anyway, it's just super, super important to focus on getting an unfair sourcing advantage. Okay. Once you have the supply locked up, the sky is the limit. All you're doing is working on logistics and just how big do you want to go. The top sources, is a bit of a challenge. Like you can't really discuss who you buy stuff from with too many people, because then they start buying it, and then you have a problem, because you're now selling the same thing and you have to undercut each other. So try to keep your best sources and your best things to yourself. Whenever I come up on a big lot, I try not to talk about it at all. In fact, that's the reason why I hide my solds. If you look at my store, it looks like I've sold 40 items or 50 items in the last 90 days. That's not true. I think it's way less than the actual feedback I'm receiving. I also don't leave feedback for customers, so it's harder for competitors to research what I'm doing. Also, I have different eBay stores that sell different items, so it's very difficult to figure out exactly what my product mix is, which is good. You guys should be doing the same thing. I advocate having more than one store selling different types of items if they're sensitive. Okay, if they're all 100% used items that people have to go hunt or look for, then it's not necessary. If you sell brand new items, if you're learning how to source replenishable items, and you find a really, really hot, let's say you find a t-shirt that has Mickey Mouse caricature of it, and it's Mickey Mouse on like it's Mickey Mouse working on an Instagram post for himself, right, and trying to impress someone, right? If that shirt was super popular, you wouldn't want to share with everybody where you get them, because then it would ruin your market. So anyway, that's the point. I think you guys get it. There are some online auction sites like bulk.com, liquidation.com, govdeals.org. You don't have to write that down. It's in the summary below. If you guys want to check out those sites, you can get on there, look at liquidation in your area. That is a massive, massive advantage, figuring out places that are near you. For me, there's a company called Blue Lots. It's local to me. I can physically go there and look at the lots before I buy them. That's a big advantage. This was voted my #1 tip last year, which was becoming friends with realtors. I don't know if you guys know this, but people who sell their homes, when they move to the new home, they have a whole bunch of stuff that they donate. That's like the most opportune time to come up is when before it hits the thrift store. So if you're in that situation, it's really, really useful. Become friends with all your local realtors. They can let you know when somebody's moving. You can go there and clean up. Okay, you can also source at thrift stores, garage sales, retail arbitrage, flea markets, storage units, and clearance outlet stores. If this is your first time coming to the channel, again, my name is Chris. I go by Daily Refinement on social media. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you like what you're hearing. And if you really want somebody else to join with you, I recommend you share this video with someone if you guys want to go at it together. Okay, the next thing is, I want you guys to change your focus from the reward to the task. Who are you? Are you a person that sells 10 items a day? Are you a person that sells 100 items a day? I think the chat's disabled for this video, but if you guys are listening, please put in the comment section, what kind of person are you? If you are a person that sells 10 items a day, you're probably a person that lists 10 items a day. If you're a person that sells 100 items a day, you probably average 100 items a day listing. That's more important than the Lamborghini you want to buy with your eBay profits, because a person that can afford a Lamborghini is probably listing 500 items a day, right? That's not financing it for social media, but somebody who actually paid cash for one is probably earning multiple six-figure income, and they're listing hundreds of items a day. So what kind of a person are you? Think about it. Be honest with yourself. What kind of a person are you? How many items are you selling? That can and then all you have to do to change it is just change who you are. Switch from I'm a 10 item person to I'm a 20 item person. All of your activities will change because you actually want to become that person. This is not some like secret weird juju. This is like legit reprogramming your brain so that you act differently. Okay. And you need these daily wins, guys. You have to set, like, if you want to become a 20 listing person and you list 20 in one day, you're going to feel amazing. But if you want to be a 100 listing person and you list 12 a day, you're going to be extremely unhappy. Like, your expectation versus your reality is how happy you are, right? If you're like, the best of my ability is 17 a day and today I did 18, wow, you're going to be killing it. So anyway, mentally start getting those small wins. Next tip is start journaling everything. When I make these lists and these ideas for people, I actually write an outline. on paper. I know that's crazy. And then I translate that into Trello. That's how I organize my thoughts for these videos. If you start to journal, you can figure out what it is you're doing. You can go back and realize how foolish you were in the past. Some of the ideas that I had were horrible when I first started. So recommend you guys start doing that. They're still horrible now. Just start writing everything down. You can have somebody review it. You can send your journal entry to me and ask me to tell you or to give you my opinion. I will if I have extra time. Okay, the next thing is eliminate your death piles just for at least once in your life. If you have a lot of stuff that you haven't listed, get it listed and then stop buying stuff. Or if you want to continue buying stuff, just list more than you buy. If you list 10 items and you buy 5 items, divide that by how much of your death pile that you have, and all of your stuff will be listed and sold. So very important for you guys to get into that habit. Okay. This is a big one. This is a 5-part strategy to boosting your sales. So you might want to just write this one down. This is a quick way to boost your sales, especially for Q4 to get some extra money. Make sure to offer returns at least 30 days. Guarantee your shipping times. At this point, you should understand how long it takes you to ship things. Have an overnight shipping option, even if it's expensive. When people sort by, I need it by in 2 days, you will pop up. Even if you're charging a $40 premium to overnight something to somebody, it's okay because somebody may really, really need that and they'll pay for it. So by offering that option in your shipping, you're going to rise a little bit in the ranking because you're offering more to the customer. I recommend combining sales event plus markdown with promoted listings on eBay. If you do that all together, it's going to maximize your eBay exposure. It's become a little bit of a pay-to-play situation. So definitely make sure to utilize all 5 of those campaigns at the same time to give your store a quick boost. Okay. 10 more. Hang in there with me, guys. If you guys are enjoying this, please smash that like button. Next one is adjust or use an inventory system that you can outgrow. My current inventory system can go to 52,000 items. That's going to take me a long time to get there. But not knowing where your inventory is a huge time waster. Even now, I would say the biggest waste of time in my business is just when I misplace something. So make sure everything is in the same place each time. Have a system. I've tried numerous systems. I have tried, let me get this system for you guys. When I first started, you guys saw that I used to, print out little numbers. Bin number A25, number 26. This went inside of my bin, and I use these little plastic clips. I outgrew that system because these would frequently fall off, and but they were small and nice. So I basically outgrew this system because these pieces of paper were also wearing out. So I moved from that to paperclip system. I mean, a clothespin system. Same situation. This could clip. Right. Also, there's a little crevice inside of a clothespin that can go on a hanger. So if you have a hanging inventory system, this can actually hang on it. I do have 4 rolling racks and 400 items that are outerwear. Okay, outerwear is big. I've stocked up on outerwear. It's going to be something that I sell because it's going to be cold. I know that's crazy, but like boots and coats are starting to sell for me, so I'm going to stock up on them. So this is a system that I still use for my hanging racks. And currently, I have a system that allows for barcodes. It's custom. You can just set that up by creating a Google Doc. And also, in your Google Doc, you can change the font of the number to a barcode, and then you'll be able to scan if you like. If your heart so pleases, you can add a barcode system to your system. I do have a system that I'm going to sell called the Reseller Cat. It's going to be out in a week or so. It's going to help you keep track of multiple platform sales. But again, I'm going to do a video on it. So if you want to make your own, you can make it your own. It's going to be inexpensive, but you can get an idea of how I sell on multiple platforms and keep track of my numbers. That's huge. I know how much I listed every day, every week, every month. I know what my profit is every day. I don't have to do taxes at the end of the year. I know every day how much taxes I owe. So I get an idea of what's going on. Okay. The next one. This is my favorite shortcut. You want to write an ad for the process that you're doing. So let's say you want to go buy something at the thrift store. The way to hack that is to write what that person would be doing in third person. So you're on Craigslist. I need this person to go to these 10 stores in my area. go through these racks and look for these items in these brands at this price to sell for this much. By the time you're writing the ad, if you actually launch it and somebody applies, they're going to ask questions. What do you mean this? What do you mean that? This doesn't make sense. It's confusing. Ask a 12-year-old if it makes sense to them. And sorry. Once you write this ad, you'll have a pretty clear idea of exactly what it is that you need to be accomplishing. And if you do that with every single process in your eBay company, then you're going to have a nice solid foundation for your store. Okay. The next one is I recommend one bank account, one credit card, a PayPal debit card, and that's it for the way that you organize your stuff. Have everything on one card so that it's easy for your CPA to help you organize. You can use something like QuickBooks. You can use something like GoDaddy. Whatever you use, just use the same thing over and over again. Create a process. I scan my receipts in the same way every single time. I put them, if I go to a garage sale, I have I actually write out a receipt and give them a copy. Why not? Because I can use this as a record for my taxes. And then I file all of my stuff in this Accordion file. So all of my receipts are in here, including the ones at garage sales in here. Done. I can give this and my spreadsheet to my CPA and call it a day. That's how I keep track of all my stuff. Hopefully you guys can do the same again. I'm not sure why the chat's disabled in this. You can hop over to forum.dailyrefinement.com and ask as many questions as you like. Okay. The next thing is rank the sourcing in your area. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this. Which stores in your area make you the most profit? Keep going to those ones and eliminate the ones that suck. That's pretty straightforward, but most people, like, I'll go sourcing with people and they'll say, I never find anything at the store. Why do you still come to the store then? Stop, like, try to find a new store. If you never find anything at the store, stop coming to the store. It's just, I don't know. Some of this common sense is not so common. Okay, the next thing is smile and ask for the nice guy discount. And that works for me. I always say, like, thank you so much for, like, I have an online store, always looking for good stuff. Thank you for the deal. This is after the first couple of times they start to recognize you. I probably will put together a list of the best way to get to know managers. That's a really common question. And I've been in sales my whole life. And I think it's a little weird when people say, oh, Chris has a sales background, you shouldn't trust him. That is a weird thing. I have a channel about selling things. I should hope that I have a background in sales so I can give you guys some relevant ideas. If I didn't sell stuff before, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I used to sell basically luxury cars. That's expensive. To convince somebody to spend 70 to 100 grand is hard. I'd want to learn sales from that person or somebody making $1 million deals, because that, after doing 4 hours of negotiation to sell a piece of metal, selling a shirt is a lot easier. I'll tell you that. Okay, so ask for a discount. Get out of your comfort zone. Your discount is 100% profit. I want you guys to write that down. The discount that you negotiate is 100% profit. It's amazing. Also, people can feel your positive energy if you smile. So be in a good mood, have a good posture. Your physicality reflects your everything. Okay, the next thing is sign up for eBay Partner Network and Amazon Associates. This is free money. Once you sign up for a store, you can actually you can send a link now when you make an eBay item, give it to somebody, and if they use that link, you pay 0 eBay fees. That's kind of the most ridiculous referral system I've ever heard. Like, that they will transact that for you for free. That's how much they want that deal. Okay, and there's also the influencer program that you can get involved in, where you pay 0 final value fees, and it's connected to this. So this is incredible. That means if you want to build a business around reviewing certain items, you can, and pay 0 eBay fees. You can also refer Amazon Associates. They pay up to 6% of the fee, which is amazing. So if you do a camera review on $500 cameras, each time somebody buys a camera off of that, you make $30. That's fantastic. There are a ton of people making great money in affiliate marketing. You might as well sign up for it. It's free. It's free money. Once you set it up, those links make money forever, as long as you have a way to market them. Okay. The next thing is you want to pick the 5 people around you that you want to be the average of. This is one of the reasons why I have limited my social media use, because the 5 people I have picked that I want to mentor are not even on social media. So whatever those 5 people are doing, I want to do so I can become like them. Pretty straightforward. So whoever the 5 people you pick up, you pick to be the people that you want to be the average of, to spend as much time as you can with them. And I consider your brain like a hotel, and there's some people that might come wander in and out of your lobby, but please don't let them stay in your brain. It's like such a valuable piece of real estate. It's the most valuable hotel in the world. Don't let crappy people be tenants, because it's going to really negatively affect you. Okay, next one is one of the only few health ones I'll have, and I'm just saying, add 5 healthy foods to your diet. Don't worry about dieting so much as just making sure that you eat some healthy stuff. If you eat 5 healthy things, it's going to reduce your percentage of bad stuff that you're putting in your body. So one of my first products was Strivectin that I sold, which was wrinkle cream. They also sold all these crazy weight loss products because it was a company in Utah making money off of supplements. And as a weight loss consultant, I would recommend people drink 16 to 32 ounces of water before every meal. So regardless of whether or not the diet pill worked, people would lose weight, because that extra 2 to 3 glasses of water would ruin your appetite. So I don't recommend doing that, right? I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying adding 5 healthy foods into your diet is a lot easier than trying to follow some crazy diet. So just eat healthy things. Next thing is take Derek Sivers' advice of saying hell yes or no. Now, some people don't like this advice, but I do. I like it because it makes it easy. Like when I'm thinking about a friendship with somebody, let's say, whoever, and do I want to be friends with them or not? Is it a hell yes, I want to be friends with them, or not really? If it's a not really, it's a no. And if people are like, hey, can I get your number? Well, maybe we'll talk about business sometime. If I don't like that person, I'm not going to give them my phone number. I just don't want to get into that situation and just half-ass it. I want to just have really good relationships or no relationship. There's just so little time, and I want really, really quality friendships. That's why I've changed my channel. Instead of making my channel big, I'm just going to keep my channel small and just talk to a certain number of people and grow the discussion board. Since YouTube is not going to make me more, unless I start doing some questionable stuff to make myself rank higher. So I'm not going to do that. Just going to keep it small. Strong relationships. Okay. I put in here at number 40 is focusing on 5 to 10 strong relationships in your life. People closest to you and your suppliers. That's it. That should be your main focus. Stay as healthy, live as long as possible, have the best relationships you have. At least a couple of those people are suppliers. You'll be set for life. Number 41, read a book a week. This is key. You want to read as much as you can to get as many ideas as you can. Reading is a lot better than consuming YouTube content or listening to a podcast, in my opinion, because you have to sort of single task. It's very hard to read and list at the same time. So you have to take a break from your day, which is good. Read something, try to implement it right away. That's something that I'm taking advantage. I always read a lot, but I don't always implement right away. So I'm going to change and read less books and just do more action. Okay. Number 42 is, if you are going to use social media, you should use it to learn about new topics or to research your buyers. That's what I think social media should be used for. Get on there, figure out what to sell and who to sell it to. The next one is schedule a paid discussion with your local CPA. Don't ask your Uncle Mike to give you free advice. Just pay for a CPA assessment. It's worth it, especially since they can give you some quick tips to reduce your tax liability, which is going to pay for the meeting itself. So just schedule a time with the CPA. Put that on your to-do list. Put it on your phone, on the front of your phone on a sticky note until you actually go. It's really, really good to find out what your numbers are at. Okay, last tip. Thanks, guys, for stopping. Please like this video again if you like this type of format. I'm just going to keep my videos short and to the point now. I will do some fun videos, but again, I'm just doing this really to get a good community of people into my forum so we can discuss stuff there. The bonus tip is to answer negativity immediately. If you screw up an order, it's okay. Promptly say to the customer, I screwed up, I damaged the item, I lost the item, I can't find it, it's not as described, I found a hole in it that I didn't see before. I apologize for this huge inconvenience. Do you want a refund right now? Do you want to cancel the order? Deal with the problem immediately, and you should be able to avoid a negative feedback. And that's huge. Your online reputation is massive. You just want to take advantage. If you do have some negative feedback, if it's within 60 days, try to get it revised. This is just an exercise to help you really care about the customer. People who really care about their customers usually do really well. Okay, so I really care about my YouTube community, and I want to provide really, really good information for you guys, the best that I can, so that you guys can take it and go achieve some type of economic empowerment through your online reselling store. That is the point of this channel. As much as it is about making progress daily, it's also about building a life around e-commerce, because e-commerce you can do anywhere in the world. The so-called laptop entrepreneur, reselling is huge, especially if you can sell something digital, if you can sell something drop shipping, if you have employees, then you can really gain some independence from just working for the man. As much as I like people, at this stage of my life, I'm really just looking for a few really, really strong relationships instead of huge relationship. I mean, very, very wide amount of relationships where I don't really know the people at all. So again, hope you guys like this. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and please check out my new forum, forum.dailyrefinement.com. It is free. Take care, guys.